Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. So last week we studied the lesson on criticize and how to get criticized according to the teaching of the Buddha. So the person who gonna criticize other person should establish 5 things in his mind. Choose the right time. Speak according to truth with gentle word for the benefit of the person and with the loving kindness. And for those who receive criticism from other persons, should establish the loving kindness in his mind and keep his mind calm, peaceful, not unshakable. And in another sutta, the Buddha encouraged the one who get criticized developed more and more loving kindness to the person who criticized him, even he criticized in the wrong way or in the right way. So that is the last week lesson. So this week lesson also based on the story of one of our devotee. She often get be feeling painful because of her disease. So one after another. So she suffered for a long time. And one day she felt like she found a way to deal with it. Like she said, whatever happened, I don't care. I don't take care of this anymore. Just let it be. Then she feel free and not so much painful anymore. So so that kind of feeling, that kind of experience, how to explain in Buddhist perspective. That's why we have today's lesson, mental illness. So in the Anguttara Nikaya, the numerical discourse of the Buddha talk about there are 2 kinds of illness, the bodily one and the mental one. He said that for a human being, there can be found among human beings, there would be a person who can claim that he or she enjoy the bodily health without any disease. For 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, 50 years, or even 100 years. You know, in the time of the Buddha, there was a monk. His name is Bakula. He has good karma consequences. That's why he never face any kind of special disease. And we can find nowadays there are so many old person. They get older, but they still strong, still healthy. That's based on their karma consequences. But he said that there are so many people they can claim about their bodily health, but there is no people except the one who eradicate, who destroy the defilement or taints. It is hard. It is difficult to find people in the world who can claim that he enjoy mental health, even for a moment. Even for a moment, it means that most of the people who are not eradicate, who are not abandon the defilement, they most of the time they have mental illness. So in the commentary of Majjhima Nikaya also mentioned that the full worldling is similar to a cycle. So last week we talked about the word bala, the full. So bala bhutuchana, the full worldling. Worldling here referred to the kind of person who produce various defilement. Combined by 2 words, the bhutu means various defilement, and the chana is mean produce. So the full worldling, the one who create a lot of defilement, is similar to a cycle in the Buddha way. Because why we said that a cycle, a mad one, because they have similar behavior. So the fool, they behave not thinking about the benefit for themselves, the good or the bad one. They don't know what is good, what is bad. So similar to the cycle, they don't know what is good, what is bad for them. So that's why the commentary compare the full worldling is similar to a cycle one. So come back to there are two kind of illness. So most of the people who are not eradicate, who are not abandon the defilement, he's called the one who have mental illness in Buddhist perspective. So even the one who become monk or nun, they also have illness, mental illness, if they are not attain the high level of noble person. So how they get the mental illness? So there are the Buddha continued the discourse. There are 4 illnesses occur for monk or nun, the one who have a celibacy life. First, a bhikkhu, a monk, has strong desire, want a lot, and distress. He suffer because he want too much, and because you want too much, you not satisfied all the time, most of the time. So he has strong desire and he distressed, and he's discontent to any kind of the requisite he received, even a robe or alms food, a lodging or medicine. He never satisfied when he discontent of anything. So that is the first one. Second one, because he's the one who has strong desire, he distressed, he discontent of anything like that. So he let his mind direct to the evil desire to get more. Have desire to get more. Get more of what? Get more of recognition from other person. The other person should not look down on me. He want more. He want to obtain gain, honor, and fame. More and more good and better requisite. The people look at him and comment good word about him, something like that. So that is the second one, a second disease, second illness of the monk or nun. The third one, after direct his mind to that evil desire, he try hard, he make effort to obtain what he want, to obtain the recognition of other person, to obtain more gain, honor, and fame. So the fourth one, he approach family. Family here refers to the devotee or the person with intended mind. So he approached all the family with intentedly. He sit down intentedly. He speak the Dhamma intentedly with the intent to have something, to gain something. And the fourth one is really funny. He hold his excrement and urine intentedly. So many way, even the smallest one, he intentedly to get more and more because he has strong desire. So that is the 4 illness, mental illness of the monk and the nun. And it also can apply to a lay person too. We are not the person who eradicate on the defilement or the taints. So sometimes we face this case. So in another sutta, the Samyutta Nikaya, the Buddha explained it in more detail. So the person, the worldling person, the uninstructed worldling person. So uninstructed here refer to the one who doesn't understand the teaching of the Buddha, doesn't understand the truth. So the uninstructed worldling, after he or she being contacted by painful feeling, like in the case we have the disease, we sick, so we have painful feeling of the sick on our body. And while we have the painful feeling, we sorrow, grieve, lament, we wept, beating, press, and why me, why I have to face this and face that, and we want to get out of it. So we get stressed by, after we have painful feeling for the body, we have suffer in our mind. So the Buddha said that he have to feel two kind of feeling: the bodily one, a mental one. So it's similar to a person who been struck with a dart, an arrow. Then after that, he get another one, and not so far from the first one. So while he has painful feeling of the first dart, he receive another dart, and more painful, like double feeling, double painful feeling. So for an uninstructed person, why he have suffered by painful feeling like that, he let the aversion arise in him, lie behind all of the feeling he received. And why he experienced the painful feeling like that, he seeks delight. He want to find more sensual pleasure to cover up the painful feeling. Because for that person, because he's an uninstructed worldling, so he doesn't know any other way to get out of the to really understand the painful feeling. He just try to cover it to get out of it by pleasure. So he let himself, he let the pleasure, he let the greedy defilement lie behind all his behavior. So, and because he doesn't know the origin, the passing away, the danger, the escape from this kind of feeling, even the painful feeling or the pleasure feeling, so he doesn't understand anything about those feelings, the truth about anything. So he let the ignorance lie behind all of his behavior. So through feelings, pleasure, painful, or neither pleasure or painful, he let all the defilement lie behind his behavior, like greed, anger, and delusion, ignorance. So that is the case for the uninstructed worldling. The Buddha said that that kind of person, an uninstructed worldling, he being tied, being fed by the birth, by death, by suffering, lamentation, sorrow, and by the suffering. So that is different from the uninstructed worldling. The instructed noble disciple is different from that. When he contact by painful feeling, even his body have painful feeling, he does not sorrow, he does not grieve or lament. He does not weep or beating his breast and shout out, why me, like that. And he has only one feeling, the bodily one, not the mental one. This case refers to the Buddha or the Arahant. They have painful feeling on their body, but their mind calm and peaceful. It's just like the person who's being struck with one dart, but not the second one. He feel only one dart only. And when they face the pleasure, they not let the greedy defilement arise in them, lie behind that, because they already eradicate them. And when they face the painful feeling, they not get angry with that because they already eradicate the defilement, the hatred defilement behind that, and they know what is right, what is wrong. They don't have the ignorance, the delusion lie behind all of their behavior. So for that kind of person, they are free from like and dislike. In the Sannyutta Nikaya, the Buddha said that For the learned one who has comprehended Dhamma while clearly seeing this world and the next, desirable things does not provoke his mind. Towards the undesirable, he has no aversion. So for the learned one, for the instructed one, learned one and instructed one here in this case means the person who learned a lot of the teaching of the Buddha, learn the discourse, and learn through practicing, through way of learning. And who has comprehend the Dhamma, comprehend by understand the discourse, understand teaching in the book, and also understand through reasoning, understand through practicing. So when the person who is the learned one who comprehend the Dhamma in that way, so he clearly seeing this word and the next. This word mean this existence, next mean another existence. Clearly seeing here in the word Pali is used the vipassato, is similar to the word vipassana we have insight. Okay, so clearly seeing mean sees by the truth, sees with the wisdom. Desirable things does not provoke his mind. His mind free from the lovable thing, desirable thing, and even the undesirable thing come to him, he's not get angry with that. So he free from like and dislike. He doesn't matter anything, not matter for him. So that's the case for the noble disciple, the instructed noble disciple. So where we are now, which level we are now? Surely we're not the ply worldling who arise many defilement, who did not understand the teaching of the Buddha, but we not reached the noble person yet. So we are called a good worldling, a good worldling, kalyana naka butuchana. In the commentary is said there are two kind of worldling: the playful worldling and a good one. So we can be considered as the good one because we at least understanding the teaching of the Buddha for a little, but not reach the noble person yet. So before I finish today's topic, there's one story I would like to share with you. We can see how dangerous mental illness can bring us to. So the story is written in the Jataka, the previous birth of the Buddha. The story about the king called Asaka who ruled over the kingdom called Kasi. So King Asaka have a queen called Upari. She is the most beautiful woman in that kingdom, and her beauty can be compared with a deva, a celestial being. So really beautiful. That's why the king loved her so much. Really loved her. But she is not well. One day she got the disease and she cannot overcome it, and she passed away. And because the king loved her so much, so he doesn't want to let her go. He want to maintain her body with the oil residue in a casket and put under his bed. He doesn't want to let her go. Okay, and he was upset. He doesn't want to face the truth. He eat less and less. He laments, "Why you leave me alone?" Something like that, all day long, and nobody could persuade him. And on the seventh day, so after the seventh day, one sect who attained the jhana, absorption, and psychic power from Mount Himalaya, he practiced meditation, and he see with his psychic power, he see the king needs his help. So he flight over to the royal park and sat on a rock. So while he's sat in meditation over there, one young man went past by. And when he see one sect sitting over there like that, he come and have a conversation. When they discuss, the young man told the king, told the sect about the king. The king now suffer, nobody can help him. So if you can help because you have psychic powers, so please help my king. So the sect that said that, okay, you come and invite the king and let him know that if he come, I will show him where the queen was born, her next existence. So the king, when the young man come to invite the king really happy because he suffered so long. He missed his queen, so he immediately come to the sect to and after he come, the sect told him that because the queen, she's on her life, because she's the most beauty, so he tried to maintain her beauty as much as possible, and she doesn't have the time to do other thing like good thing like meritorious deeds. So she just have time to take care of it and attach to it. That's the reason why after the death she was born as an insect and eat the dung in the same park. Yeah. So the king said, I don't believe it. I don't believe it. So the sect used the psychic power to take these two insects in front of them and said, yeah, this one of them is your queen. And the king also, no, I don't believe it. And the sect used the psychic power to talk to the insect. Who are you? And with the psychic power, the insect reply, I am Upari, the queen of King Asaka. And the sect asked, who do you love? The King Asaka or your husband right now? If there's a couple. So the insect replied, yes, I used to be with King Asaka in this very garden, and really lovely garden like that. We enjoy together. He loved him. He loved me. I loved him. But through many births, many existence, with the suffering, new happiness, cover up the old suffering and old happiness. So I could not remember who the king is. And for sure, I love my husband now more than the king. And she said that if my husband if I want to please him, I could kill that king to use the blood to apply to my husband's feet just to please him. Those insects said that. So at that very moment, the king felt remorse. I don't want it anymore. So after that, he removed the cause of the queen and cleansed his body, paid homage to the sect, got a new queen, and ruled the kingdom properly according to the teaching of the sect. So in the story, the sect is the Buddha, our Buddha. And the young man was Venerable Sariputta, his chief disciple. The king in the time of the Buddha is the monk who missed his wife and who missed his former wife, and the queen is his former wife in this story. So through the story, we can see that the mental illness is really dangerous for our life. If he not lucky to meet the sect, he would not get over it. And but in this story, the sect is not a noble person yet. He's not yet enlightened. He's just a Buddha to be practicing only. But he's a worldling, but a good worldling. So we not reach the noble person yet. So we can at least be a good worldling. We try to overcome the mental illness as much as we can. So thank you for your listening.
Okay, discussing time. On the previous slide, we learned that when we face physical pain, physical suffering, we often replace it or cover it up with a different kind of another pleasure feeling. Like for example, when you have physical pain, we often take painkiller, painkiller, or we take alcohol, or we do something else to have pleasure, to cover the painful feeling that we are having. And as you know, all of those have side effects, right? So that's not good. We don't know other way. We can't face it, and we don't know other way. And when we hear someone say, "Oh yeah, if you take this, then your pain will go away or suppress or whatever it is," rather than face it, understand it, and overcome it, then eventually it will go away, because everything is impermanence. But we don't know better, because these kind of people are called uninstructed worldling, putuchana, because they don't know any other way. They suffer, and if they lamented, complain, and get distressed, they have another pain on top of it. So you double the pain or triple, however you react to it. So that's very pity. We don't know any other way, but there is another way if we listen to the Buddha teaching and how to deal with it, how to cope with it. So there you go. Sometimes, the first one is like there's an aversion and you complain and not accepting it. Another one is to have another pleasure to cover it up. And all of this has been blind by the delusion, don't understand the true nature of it. And all of us here, at one point, at some level, we also have it. Which remind me, lately I had single, and I was like in a very painful state. And I did have this thought. I'm not proud of it, but I did have this thought of feeling a little bit kind of upset and lamented over it, and but then I quickly go back to my my meditation state and practice it, understand it, and stay calm and all that, so that I would suffer less. So being learning the Buddha teaching help us how to cope with this kind of thing in this stage. So that's why practicing meditation and understand the true nature of it helps we overcome it. And with the story, with the Chataka story about the previous, as you know, Chataka is the doctrine that the Buddha recall his previous life, what happened. So in this case, the Buddha recalled the story that in the past, when he practicing to become a Buddha, so we call him the Buddha to be, he was an ascetic or a sage, helping the king lamented his passed away queen, because he couldn't accept the fact that his queen died already. So, but he didn't want to, because the attachment, he didn't want to leave his wife. So he kind of preserved her in the glass casket, so that he could look at her and be with her until she found out that she already had a new life, a new husband, and didn't care about him, forgot all about him, and willing to kill him to pleasure his current husband. And then he woke up, he like, oh, now he realized that, he's been silly, he's been, crazy about it. So the truth strike him and woke him up. So there you go. In Bali, there's a term called Chitta Vipalasa. Vipalasa, you can translate it as crazy, psycho, or deranged. So in his case, his mind, because of his mind being upset about something is wrong, is not right, like not accepting the fact that someone has to die, and the more you hang on to it, attach to it, the more suffering you endure, and all that kind of thing. So you are crazy. You don't know the right way to do it. So we call chitta vipallasa, mind deranged or mind crazy. Okay, and then if we perceive something wrong or distorted, have the wrong view, we are called sanya vipallasa, mean perception crazy. So with this story, we talk about the vipallasa, it remind me the time that when I was practicing meditation in Myanmar, and the meditation teacher, he has the habit of calling everybody crazy. When he saw somebody talk about it, he's like, how is he? Is he still crazy? Is he getting better? He's less crazy now. And then for us, we Asian, we tend to be a little bit okay with it because we learned about the Buddha teaching. But for some Westerners, they get offended. They become very offended that why this man, a teacher, keep calling people crazy, calling him crazy too. And he complained about it. He said, hey, it's not polite or not nice to call people crazy. And he said, yeah, indeed. You're crazy too. And he said that until you become a noble person or enlightened, you are crazy. And the person who really have mental problem, like we really call crazy, like the one who, running around like naked or whatever, real crazy, and we call him severe crazy. But for us, we are common crazy. You know what I mean? Common crazy. Because we do the thing, we have physical pain, and then we react to it, and we receive another pain. So if you're not crazy, you wouldn't do that kind of thing. That's why we can, and then all of us, I don't say 99% nice like him. I say all of us until we get enlightened. We are crazy, but we are common crazy. So every one of us do the same thing. So we call common crazy. And the one who really mental crazy, mental illness is the severe one. So there you go. So he's saying that what is, there's nothing wrong with it when I say, has he been less crazy? That means he's practiced, he learned the truth, so he learned the right way to deal with his problem, like we would call learn or instructed worldling. So we be less crazy like that. So don't be offended. Look at the fact. He didn't try to put you down or he didn't try to make fun of you, but he just want to encourage you to be less crazy, but not in a very positive encouragement. But anyway, he just want to point out the fact that we are all crazy, okay, until you wake up, get enlightened and wake up. So for him, he is crazy. For the king, for, doing something like this. And, he has a responsibility to rule the country, but he just, didn't care and let people, stranded, thing like that. And then he didn't accept that there's the rebirth. If you don't know how to live, you don't understand, you go, you lament it. And the person who didn't take care, who didn't practice material deed, you might go down to become, animal, but this one bad, eating dung, but for them it's a delicacy. But for us, why would you eat something like that? But for them it's a delicacy, right? Anyway, all of it's all just crazy, right? Yeah. So anyway, we practice. A lot of time we learn the Buddha teaching, through theory, but we still, fall into the problem of getting mental suffering. So how can we do? It's very difficult that understand it only through theory and then real practice. We still fall into it. So we are encouraged to practice meditation, vipassana, insight meditation. So when we sit and meditate, we have physical pain rises. we we know how to deal with it. We need to stay calm bit by bit to build up the understanding. I don't want to say tolerant, but the understanding the nature of it, so that when the pain more severe, you can handle it better. So when you face physical pain, real feel like more persistent physical pain, you can deal it better. So that's through practice, meditation, insight. Bit by bit, you learn to do it, rather than you don't practice and then one day you have a very severe, very intense physical pain, like you have accident or disease or something, or going to dealing with cancer. It's very painful. I heard that some people who went through chemotherapy, it's very painful and very difficult to deal with it. And if you're not practicing, you have two type of pain that you deal with, which is not necessary. The mental feeling is not necessary. Okay. So there you go. We learn. So he's saying that the uninstructed putuchana or worldling is the one who doesn't know how to deal with, doesn't know the truth, and the one that so we wouldn't call ourselves instructed putuchana. Would we call ourselves instructed worldling, or okay, the other one is the noble one. Okay, so the noble one. So okay, we still we are one level higher. So pat yourself in the back.
So we can
so try to be
good worldling.
Good worldling. Okay. I like instructed better than good, because make other people feel bad that way. I'm also a good one. I'm a good person. I help other people and all that kind of thing. I'm good too, but don't know the truth, don't know how to deal with it. So I would say instruct is better. Okay, and the other, when you reach the enlightenment level, you are the noble person. So hopefully we can deal with it better. Yeah. So have person? Yes, go ahead. Okay. The two types of physical pain. Physical pain is when something strikes your body, bruise, you feel pain. So that's considered suffering, right? But then again, you react to it, you get upset, you don't want to accept it, and you feel very unpleasant about it. So that's mental suffering. But yes. Also, mental suffering can also lead to physical suffering. Is that what you mean? Yeah. You see, that's the problem. You see, the mental suffering is unnecessary. It can be controlled, or can be you can do not have it happen. You know what I mean? Okay. Because of the mental suffering that lead to disease, cancer, to the physical. That's the thing that worse. But you have this body, then you're prone to have pain. There's no denying it. If you have this physical body, you're prone to have it. Like the Buddha himself will face physical suffering, but he doesn't have mental suffering. But if you don't know the right way, let's say you are a healthy person, but you always feel depressed, sorrow, lamented about something, then eventually it leads to physical suffering. Then you suffer from the physical suffering, and then you add more mental suffering, and then you just completely killing yourself quicker. You see what I mean? So the mental suffering is unnecessary. You can avoid it, but the physical pain you cannot. If someone hit you, If someone stab you, you cannot avoid the physical pain, right? But if someone try to insult you, you can avoid mental suffering. Make sense? But if you don't, you let your mental suffering grow, you feel sad, sorrow, you feel whatever it is that eventually that lead to physical suffering, like you deteriorate your body because of the mental suffering that lead to toxic, create the toxic, how mental and physical, they interact each other, they affect each other. Like physical suffering lead to mental suffering. And then mental suffering also lead to physical suffering. And then since you are not, let's say the instructed roidling, they eventually, have more mental suffering make the physical suffering, and then you just kill yourself quicker. You just bring more poison and die quicker. So there you go. So let's start with the physical suffering first. And then, you can't avoid it, but the mental you can. There you go. So the Buddha teaching is more like cure the mental illness rather than the physical one. The physical, we don't have to worry. We have doctor already. And there's so many doctors out there that could actually cure your disease, but they can't cure your mental disease, even though they have like psychotherapy or psychiatrists and all that. But that's not the same mental curing. They just give you pill and then let you relax, and then thing like that. This is more like in the long run, not just only curing the mental disease in this life, but in the next life and next life until you're completely free from the cycle of rebirth. Okay, yeah. So is that clear? Keep asking until you. Yes, because we are still, blind by all the wrong understanding. So that's why we're here. That's why we're here in this temple, learning the teaching the Buddha more and more, and then until you understand it. But you have to practice. You have to learn to let go little thing first, and then improve more, let more go. The attachment, something you can't let go yet. It's understandable, but learn to let go from the little thing first. And then what, as you let go, you realize how relief, how, delight or uplifting it is. And then you have faith in it. You have confidence in, in letting go will free you in some level. Then you let go more, let go more. Let go in the sense of less attachment, thing like that, So if you just let go something very hard to let go, is impossible right now, but it can be done. Okay.
Yeah. In the commentary, when it is said that an uninstructed worldling doesn't know the escape from the painful feeling, so it mentioned that the escape from the painful feeling is the concentration while we practice in meditation, or the magga and phala, the attainment of the noble person. So if we cannot reach the level of the attainment, so at least we practice meditation, and the concentration will bring blissful is better than the sensual pleasure.
Mm-hmm. Let's say that as an instructed worldling, we understand the teaching, we have confidence in it. So when we face physical pain, we stay calm and we just apply the meditation practice by, aware of it, and then come back to our breathing, rather than, feeding all the negative that make things worse. So bit by bit like that, you will learn, and then you have more confidence in the practice and deal with it better, rather than complain and get stressed. You see, yeah. So it's take practice. Otherwise, you can't do it. You have to, first the technique, how to how to practice meditation to face the difficulty. Yeah, I know. That's why we continue to go through the cycle of rebirth. That's not you know. Otherwise, the Buddha already helped so many got liberations, and then, you know, we wouldn't be here today. But we got to do it. Otherwise, you know, we completely keep getting sunk in. Yeah. The reason the devotee, she, because she also the instructive worldling when she faced her disease or her physical pain. She's one physical pain after the other, and I feel bad for her because she went through surgery, and then she took medication, and this medication has this effect. It leads to another kind of physical pain, and then this, and then she get more medication, and that medication it just went after the other. She has like her neck disc replaced, and she took medication, and that thing caused her bladder get infected, and she got pain. She say like the pain is like giving birth, the pain of giving birth. So they give her injection. What the lady who give birth should know about the injection. Yeah, something that hits. Yeah, something like that, and then cause her to have another kind of pain, one after the other, and then finally she's saying, "Okay." She tried to let go. Okay, do whatever you want to do. I surrender. So she just keep meditation, and she won't resist. She won't resist with her pain, the aversion, the resistance, and then she say, "Oh my goodness, how come I feel better?" So all of this time, the resistance add up to the pain. So finally, she accepted and let go. Okay, just do your thing. I'm not gonna complain anymore, and it's feel better because not that her physical pain getting better, it's just the mental pain that been adding to it. The resistance, gone, and then she feel lighter. Is because that thing already got out. She took out. So there you go. This is like exactly what the Buddha say. You've been hit by 2 arrows. So if you learn better, then you took the other arrow out and you only deal with 1. And of course, 1 is always better than 2. Simple as that. Okay. Yeah. So, try. That's all I can say. And I remind myself to keep trying, try again, and learn it. And so next time, stay calm and look at the physical pain, and then follow your in-breath. Don't feed in the negativity because you already have enough like that. Okay. And of course, I wouldn't say don't take painkiller, right? I mean, you are too much for you to endure, so you can just have it, but don't try. Let's say regularly, if you have some physical pain, then don't look for something else to replace it, like some other pleasure or something. Just look at it, deal with it, accept the fact. So many people have different way to do it. Yeah. Some people. One time, I was telling you that I have the shoulder blade pain, and the doctor saying, if it's too much, I give you steroid. And I said, I don't want that kind of medication. How the side effect make things worse, and I end up facing more kind of physical pain. So it's okay. I deal with it. I don't even take Tylenol painkiller. I just deal with it, but I do apply, the hot and cold, thing to help the inflammation. Yeah, thing like that. But to mentally, kind of blocking the pain, I won't take it. Okay. Yeah. Oh, you have questions? Any? Yeah. So any question or do you find yourself in the king's story? The story? Yeah, that happened a lot. One. Yeah. Go ahead. Yeah, you can share. You can share your view.
I have cousins that are around my age, and a little while ago, their mom died. And I didn't know her very well, but I know my cousins really well, and they're very upset and they're having a really hard time. And I'm trying to, be there and talk to them. But because I'm Buddhist, I think they don't want to hear.
Yeah.
When you're suffering, it's hard to, hear some of the philosophy, but I'm thinking that it's just an attachment, and you've moved on, and, but I've been thinking a lot about impermanence because of that, and I see, they're suffering because, their mom has passed, and then it helps me realize that that's not the way to deal with it. If you're not helping anyone, by increasing your suffering, is it like, she's passed to the next life, and the more you suffer isn't helping that, her, it's just hurting you.
Right.
So I'm just kind of looking at that and just thinking about the permanence and all that.
Yeah, that's for us. We use it to contemplate on it.
Yeah.
But how, if you see someone
here that facing this kind of suffering, so how can we help? How can we advise? But you don't have to bring in the word Buddha or Buddhism or anything. Just tell them like the more you attach, you feel more suffering, and that won't help the person already passed away. But what if his mom or her mom knew that she's suffering it and she wouldn't be happy? There's a lot of ways to help your friend or your relative without mentioning the word of the Buddha, even though it's there. And the Buddha wouldn't care. He wouldn't care you give him credit at all. Yeah. So don't ever, like, oh, the Buddha say like that. I have to quote it. I have to like give the Buddha credit. No, don't care. He wouldn't care at all as long as you understand and how to apply it and get over it and help others get over it. So whatever you understand and try to help this person to cope it better, get out of it. So attachment leads to more suffering. You wouldn't get that. And if your mom, she loves you and she realizes you are so, you lamented over this, and she wouldn't be happy. It wouldn't help her at all. And accept the fact that people will die. And when you die, will you cry over it? You will one day be in this position. Then how you handle it? Are you gonna cry over your death? And you do want your people, your relative to cry over your death? It won't do anything. But doesn't mean that you're willing to forget about your mom, your relative. That's different. You can continue to remember all the good things that you be with this person, appreciate, and you commemorate it, and things like that. A lot of people say, if I don't lament it, that means that I will forget my relative. That's two different things. You know what I mean? Yeah. So, and it just if you look at it, it's just been silly. Yeah. But you don't want to say that because you don't want to say that to your relative. If you understand it, you understand like that. But you have to find ways to help your friend accept it. Okay. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Everyone's upset. I think they feel like if they're not upset, it means that they didn't love that.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with it.
The way I show my love is my deeds. So I'm thinking, it makes sense.
Yeah. As a Buddhist,
the one who passed away by doing many other things, like we do wholesome deeds, we share merit, we commemorate, we use this person as the beacon example, what good they have done, and use it and honor it, and continue to remember this person, the relative, and as a Buddhist we share merit. As we remember, we share merit to help. If the relative receive it, it help them. But if you cry, you lament it, all that kind of thing, it's just wasteful, and you just give yourself more distress and more suffering, and that's defeat the purpose, right? So something like that, just find a way to explain. Okay. Yeah. So, okay. How you have any questions? You found yourself in that situation, been hit by 2 arrows? Yeah, I don't think if you say no, you lie. yeah, because we don't know better. Huh? That's okay.
Yeah. And we often blame others, but actually we the one who create that. seems like people cause conflict with you, but you can be.
You won't accept it. You won't let that thing affect you. Then you're in control of your feeling, right? Yeah. Okay. If we don't have any question, then we can do ceremony and chanting.